The following content is provided as educational and entertainment purposes only. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments, as I am not a financial advisor. Any and all content provided by me contains my own speculative opinion on the market. As such, this content should not be used to make trading or investment decisions. The market is extremely volatile, and the decisions you make should be based on your own due diligence. If you should make a trade or investment decision based off the speculative content that we provide, this disclaimer legally relinquishes me from any and all responsibility. Past market performance is not indicative of future market results. Trading in any market is extremely risky, and you should conduct your own research and analysis prior to making any decisions. Well. Happy fucking Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to another Blackfire Technical Analysis. And today, we have some juicy things to talk about as far as the traditional markets are concerned, as well as some previously applied requests that we got in the Facebook group chat. I think I'm just going to cut to the chase today because I am very excited and I want to get to the analysis. So, quite obviously, we're going to start with Mr. NASDAQ here. And all-time highs, and I'm looking for continuation as a result. Why? Because we got this breakout to a new all-time high right above this prior all-time high resistance around $14,030. Saw a nice little pullback, continuation into the 15th. Support the red 10 simple, and basically that acted as a little bit of a launching pad for this to carry itself on to new all-time highs. I still stand by the theory that the one spot 272 Fibonacci extension zone is going to be the next target for this asset, right around 14,350, give or take. A little bit, again, a little bit of a pullback as a result of the all-time high. Not, that would not be out of the question. But for now, I do sense a little bit more continuation in today's price action before we see any kind of pullbacks. I'm still looking at that one spot 272 target to get met. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that off on my chart here. Again, 14,330 to 14,350 is kind of the next target. Looking at the stochastics, I don't even know what the hell that is. Looking at the stochastics, I like to see this coiling action because, everybody, always gets in the realm of, oh, it's overbought. There's no such thing as fucking overbought. Get that out of your mind. There is no such thing as overbought. As long as the stochastics remains deep in the critical bull zone here, I have no reason not to think that this asset isn't bullish. And we do see a little bit of weakness to the downside here from the stochastics exponential here. It is starting to basically wane a little bit, a little bit less aggressive to the downside after this confirmed cross with stochastics, basically leading into that new all-time high. I like to read. What does the RSI tell us? Long-term structure. Is there any long-term structure? Yeah, maybe. Let's see what we got. Nah. Maybe just that for now. Yeah, that's a little long-term structure, but we do see anyway, we do see the RSI bouncing off that positively sloped exponential. I fucking love that stuff, man. That's a phenomenal read. Again, I'm going to mention this as many times as I need to mention it. This slope analysis here for the exponential on the RSI, I weigh that extremely heavily in my analysis and in my trading decisions. If you missed yesterday's video, I did post a video, my own version of a little bit of an introduction to the RSI. Please go check it out. If you guys do like these videos, please like and subscribe. Tick that little bell. It really helps the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm. We're basically on the hunt for a little bit more visibility right now. So back to it, though. Again, that positive exponential, again, I put a lot of weight on that. And we saw a nice little top call followed by, that pullback that we saw, basically touching the yellow 21 and confirming a closure above the red 10 simple. And boom, we got a reaction off of that. That is classic support from an RSI perspective. Now, that does bode into the question that there is potentially a little bit of bearish divergence going to be in formation here, especially if we start seeing a little bit of a pullback, especially below this broken resistance here. This is broken resistance. It hasn't confirmed as new tentative support quite yet. We're going to call that 14,115. Yeah, that lines up pretty all right. A little bit of a pullback to that region would not be out of the question. But if we get a top signal here, we likely see a drive of bearish divergence start playing out here. And to get a top call from my perspective, I need to see a candle closure back below the prior all-time high resistance, right around 14,030 bucks. Do I think that's going to happen? No, not really. I think this one, I think this one really continues to drive to further all-time highs towards that one spot 272 Fibonacci extension region. Again, all candles are closing above all major moving averages. We got this new all-time high on fucking volume. So that is the signal that I'm looking for potential continuation right now. We got more than average volume. Higher than average volume is something that I'm looking for on these new all-time high moves here. We got this prior all-time high, and I was a little concerned when we flashed, way less volume than I was expecting to see on a new all-time high, but we got that pullback. We got the support right around the red 10 simple, and the red 10 simple basically acted as a launching pad for price action. And again, that's on high volume, while the RSI is breaking into the bullish control zone, and stochastics remain coiling in the bullish critical zone. So I like the read. I do think we see some more continuation on this one. We're going to leave that one where it's at. We're going to move on to SPY here, SPY futures, ES1. And what do we see here? Definitely a little bit more different price action here. This is a top. This is definitely a top right now. That bearish divergence definitely played out, and we saw only a little bit of a recovery back above this support region here. Although it's not really a significant support quite yet. Candle closure above that today will confirm it as support. Maybe we see a little price action to the upside, but here's why I'm thinking we see a little bit more of a pullback. We do see stochastics have crossed from the critical zone into the bullish control zone here. That is my tell of potential downside in the making. On top of that, we do have this long-term structure here on the stochastics, and it does paint the picture that the potential for a much larger pullback isn't out of the question here from a long-term perspective. Looking at RSI, I think it looks a little bit different. Do we have any structures? Let's go ahead and print them out here. Yeah, I guess I can make that work. RSI here, we do see a little bit of a rejection, well, not a little bit of a major rejection of the bottom side of the bullish control zone here, driving down through the exponential, and now the exponential, starting to slope negative once again. Any pull up into that exponential as of now, I'm going to be looking at to be met with resistance unless we cross through it with price action taking out at least the red 10 simple is what I'm looking for right now. But to be a little more conservative, I'm looking for this region here, 42.35 spot 50. If we see any candle closures back above this region, I will be convinced that a higher low has been confirmed for this structure, and traveling on to new all-time highs would not be out of the question for this. But for right now, we got that reaction off the L21 moving average here. Testing a lot lower here towards this 41.85 support, confirming it as support, reclaiming a structure above that yellow 21. So, we could see a little bit more of a pump up towards the red 10 simple to test it, or maybe we see a little consolidation before a breakdown. Again, the indicators are really painting a picture as far as the downside is concerned, but long-term wise, the structure still remains valid, and as long as price action looks like it might be putting in a higher low, I can't be ultimately bearish on this. So for now, I'm basically watching 4,200 bucks. Any close below there, I'm going to be looking for a back test, another retest of the 41.85 support region here, and a close above this will bode well. 42.20 would bode well for a move all the way up to this region here, right around 42.36, maybe a little higher. But again, I want to see closures back above that red 10 simple before I'm convinced that this is really going to, once again attempt new all-time highs. That's where I'm going to leave ES1. I'm going to go ahead and move on to Dow Jones here. I have a feeling that they got continuation to the downside, and yes, we did. We got continuation to the downside. We got a closure below the green 55. Again, we still are technically. Give me a second. I want to readjust this real quick. We still are in the context of seeing a potential higher low, in formation. However, I am not convinced of that right now. I'm actually convinced of a little bit more of a pullback here. But more importantly, if we do take out this region here, 33,715 on a daily candle closure basis. That's going to be a new confirmed low being printed on Dow Jones, and I'm going to be looking for much more of a significant pullback all the way towards the Cyan 89 or this potential support level here right around 33,175. And that's the downside potential. Now, here's more evidence. Here's more reasons why I'm thinking down. The long-term structure here for Dow Jones, it has completely failed. We're taking out a lot of lows here. We've basically taken out all these lows here, penetrated into the top, penetrated through the top side of the bearish control zone here. This long-term structure trend line no longer applies. I'm going to remove that. Right now, at this point, I want to see a little more price action start to play out. I want to see what kind of structure or formation this starts to build before I'm confident with more targets to the downside. Because right now, to be quite honest with you, the way I'm looking at this, I'm looking at just more of a bleed to the downside, especially if we take out 33,715 on a daily candle closure basis. Stochastics painting a decent picture as well, but this one has a little bit of a possibility. No, maybe that possibility is no longer, because that structure would have been that point to that point. No, structure is broken. Stochastics paints the picture that we see potential downside in continuation. All we've gotten on Dow Jones is continuation after continuation drive to the downside, and until proven otherwise, that's how I'm going to look at it. What would prove me otherwise? A full recovery back above the green 55 from a more aggressive standpoint, and from a more conservative standpoint, right back above 34, not 50. I want to see a low. I want to see a little bit of a bounce off of this here, and I want to see some girthy action before I'm convinced that this is a higher low structure. But again, on that RSI, we did see that break of structure, and that really, that to me, really is a tell that hey, this might have a chance to see a little bit more of a medium term and maybe longish term pullback, and taking out these lows here. It's not going to be good, because we're just going to be playing off the tops here on the way down for Dow Jones. So as far as Dow Jones is looking, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I want to see a low print, or I'm just going to be looking for continuation to the downside. Let's go ahead and look at Mr. Dixie. That was actually vastly exciting yesterday. Holy shit, yeah, this is fucking reversal. This is no joke. This is reversal right now. We do have a change of behavior on the daily. That is confirmed for the US dollar index. This paints the picture, in my opinion, for the potential possibilities for Bitcoin. And we'll get to Bitcoin after this, but I think I'm a little more convinced that Bitcoin starts to see some downside. This has been a very, very, very powerful move for the US dollar index. Very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. Change of behavior. Finally starting to print new highs. That's what I've been looking for quite some time here. Upside targets as of now. Testing this region for support right around 91.87. I am going to be looking for extension as a result of this region breaking all the way towards the 92.15 region. First and foremost, a pullback would not be out of the question. Even a pullback all the way down to 91.30 wouldn't be out of the question. This is a very powerful move, and we do see some weakness in the stochastics. Although I can't get bearish on the stochastics when they look like this. Very, very, very strong, penetrating deeper into the bullish critical zone here. RSI, again, we can always assume that a pullback all the way to the bullish control zone bottom, it would not be out of the question. Again, pulling back and testing that positive exponential as support once again wouldn't be out of the question. But the longer we stay above that support level here, the more and more that this exponential creeps towards the bullish control zone here. So this is looking very powerful. I'm confident that we see more upside price action, a little bit more long term now. What does the weekly look like? Yeah. Not from a weekly perspective. Now I'm looking at this point here. This point is a very, very, very critical point from a weekly time frame perspective. If we take out 93. We'll just round it up. $93. It's gonna be a change of behavior on the weekly, and I cannot be bearish at all whatsoever on anything that is flashing a change of behavior on the weekly. Very, very, very powerful shit right here. RSI on the weekly finally creeping its way back to a positive slope here. We do have a structure in formation from the RSI perspective. We're gonna go ahead and get that printed out right now. Boom. That is valid. Nope. That's it. That's the structure here. So this could definitely prove to be a macro low. and a turning point for the U.S. dollar index, which would prove well, which would prove very well. Long term, we are on a higher low structure here. That much is confirmed. It was looking a little dicey for quite some time on the daily chart, with potential targets all the way down at 89 bucks. At one point for me, that no longer applies unless we see some kind of like disgusting, unheard of, full-blown flash crash in the U.S. dollar index. I'm thinking more upside for this one. So that's where I'm going to leave that one. It's time for Mr. Bitcoin here. It does seem like this stream's going a little faster. I do have 4 requests today, so we'll take our time with that. Looking at Bitcoin, this is really convoluted. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of my own redrawings here. Let's get some lines. Nice little resistance. Nice little support. This is kind of the level that I'm looking at. We'll keep things a little simple here. Okay. All right, so looking at Bitcoin here, a little bit more of downside continuation. Nothing too scary. Nothing too concerning as far as, seeing that potential $45,000 target being met. I still do think that we see a higher low being printed, although it is looking a little weaker. We still have a positive exponential on the RSI, and we do seem to see a little bit of that, bouncy bounce off that exponential. Bouncing off of it and printing a new high would be more confluence that it's going to print as a higher low. And again, that is what I'm looking for right now as a higher low. However, if we take out this region here, I'm going to line it up. This region here is what I'm looking at, 37,400. Yeah, anything below 37,400, and I'm going to be looking at this region for a potential retest here. But things get a little more dicey if we take out this region here at 35,500. Because that will be, again, taking out a higher low and printing new lows on the structure as a whole, and that would just lead me to believe that we have more downside potential all the way back down to 30 grand. That would not be out of the question here, but that's a little bit of hindsight trading. What I'm looking for right now is to see this continue hold of support, and I want to see a little bit, price action to the upside as a result here. Now, we do have a little bit of a soft level that I'm looking at as well. We could see consolidation between this point and this point being 39,250, and this point being 37,500. We could see a little bit of consolidation for a while. Stochastics, really doing, starting to do a little bit of that coiling action. So, that wouldn't be out of the question. But for now, again, most importantly, from my perspective, I'm looking for a higher low to print. I'm looking for this region to be taken out, and I'm going to be looking for new highs, most importantly, to be printed here. Any closure above 40,600, I'll be convinced that $45,000 target is going to, come to fruition here over the next, week or two. But for now, little boring. Price action got a little exciting on yesterday's candle. I did think that maybe we'd see a close, but we saw a massive rejection and a closure below the yellow 21. So I do have to remain a little bit cautious here as far as Bitcoin's price action movement is concerned. Again, because if we break it, if we break this region here, 37,500, a retest of that low, that's where things get a little dicey and concerning here, because at the end of the day, we are still, in my opinion, playing out a larger range here. Seeing this dump and then this recovery, this little bounce, we have not reclaimed any structure above that bounce, and basically the top of that bounce is the top of the range as of right now. Now, if this does decide to break out, the range is going to get a little bit bigger, in my opinion, again, because the Wyckoff distribution pattern usually plays out with consolidation, maybe a reaccumulation phase, or even a distribution phase for roughly the same amount of time that the Wyckoff distribution pattern played out. And this one played out for about 2.5-3 months. We could see this range and play a little higher, play a little lower for about 3 months before we get any kind of specific resolution to this structure as a whole. So for now, I'm waiting. I'm being patient. I'm still paying attention to it very, very, very closely because I do have positions in play right now. And nothing too significant in the red right now because again, I'm being patient. I'm waiting for a higher low to potentially print, and if that does print, things are going to get a little more exciting for me as far as seeing a continuation potentially all the way to that $45,000 region. So for Bitcoin, that's where I think I'm going to leave it. I think it's going to be time for some requests, and that's what we're going to get into. IVR. Please be a shit stock. Please be a shit stock. Please be a shit stock. Investco Mortgage Capital Incorporated, NASDAQ. Let's, no, that's New York Stock Exchange. Oh my fucking God. Oh, I think I've looked at this one. Yeah, I have looked at this one before. This one actually just fucking died during coronavirus dump times here. It's toppy. It's definitely very toppy to me right now. Maybe we see a little bit more of a pullback. Actually, seeing some consolidation starting to play out potentially here on the daily chart. We do see exponential exponential moving averages mostly have a positive slope, still showing a little bit of strength. But that stochastics printing a lower high in conjunction with this high and this high here, forming a little bit of a downtrend. Doesn't bode well for confidence, in my opinion here. Rejecting the bullish control zone. We do see exponential being slightly positive, but any more downside price action likely forces this to a negative slope, and we see continuation as a result, especially if we close below this region here, right around 3.95. The next valid target that I realistically have below that region is right here, right around $3.60. And the indicators, the momentum oscillators will definitely paint that picture if that condition is met. Alongside of that, a break below that support level will likely initiate a cross of the RSI below the exponential, and it likely forces the exponential to a negative slope here. And then I'll be looking at that negative slope analysis to see any kind of pullbacks to the upside act as resistance upon testing the negatively sloped exponential. We do have this nasty top formation here, break below the bullish control zone, back test, rejection of the bullish control zone. So there's a little bit of evidence here that tells me, hey, this actually might see some more downside price action. Now, if we get a closure back above this region here, 4.13, I have no reason not to target the current high structure here, right around $4.50. Anything after that, though, got a long road to go to hit this region. Long road to go before you hit that region. Maybe even this one here. We can mark that. We can mark that region there. Yeah. Technically, yeah, it's in a little bit of a bullish structure. As far as the macro is concerned, this low here, this low here, this low here, this low here, and this low here, like all printing higher lows. So it does look like this one is at least attempting to survive after getting basically, fisted in the mouth by the coronavirus dump times and seeing just, failed rallies as a result, and just nasty downtrends. Seeing a little bit of an uptrend on this isn't a bad thing. I do want to see continuation. I want to see some more girth to the upside before I'm convinced of a reversal. This is not reversal right now. I'm not looking at anything long term for this asset as far as positive price action is concerned, or a long-term bull market. But for now, what I can say is, it's trying to survive. This one does look like it's at least trying to survive after getting absolutely canned by that coronavirus dump times, and you got to give credit where credit is due. So as far as this asset's concerned, maybe we see consolidation. Red 10 simple looks really strong. Yellow 21 looks strong. All these moving averages are starting to gain a little bit of momentum, but the oscillators are painting a different picture. So the most important thing from my perspective, if I was trading this one, I'm watching these two levels here. 3.95 and what, 4.15, maybe 4.10, 4.15, something like that. Any candle closure above this region likely goes to this 4.45, 4.50 region, and any close below this, big plummet to the downside of it. We're looking at a potential for a major loss as far as this asset's concerned. So that's where I'm going to leave Investco Mortgage Capital. We'll go ahead and move on. AMD. Oh, we're getting into the good stuff. Not ADM, you fuck. AMD. Advanced Micro Devices. Oh, man. I mean, long term, this is fucking beautiful. Jeez. Makes you wish you would have bought all the way back in 2016, about $1.69. Very bullish long term. Any confirmation? Yeah. On this whole bull run, we've basically been using the blue 377. I mean, we've seen in the bear markets here, For this instance here, we saw the blue 377 act as resistance, and then a little bit of resistance from lower periods like the white 200 simple and the purple 100. This is kind of your tell that we're not in a bear market. And as you go up, we do see a little bit of this downtrend here. This is a downtrend for AMD, but that blue 377 kept the bull market going here, and especially here's another example where the blue 377 it was actually your tell of the bull market continuation to the upside. Obviously, some very heinous moves to that region, but nonetheless, it reacted and supported off of that region. So maybe a little bit of evidence of that being played out right now. This looks like potential reversal. Base low. Let's get some lines put in here. If you want to know the hotkeys for horizontals, it's Alt H. It is Alt H. Okay, so we do have a breakout. We do have a breakout. Yeah, next target for me on this one is going to be right around 88 bucks even. Why? Stochastics reacting as expected upon confirmation of that breakout and a confirmation of that candle closure above this resistance level here. In correlation with seeing closures above all major moving averages, we are seeing closures back above the white 200 simple. Very nice move for AMD right now. I am looking for continuation back to this region around 80 bucks even. Stochastics bouncing off the bottom side of the bullish control zone. I really want to see that exponential start moving back to a positive slope. That'll be your tell, like, hey, okay, this is a legitimate bounce. This is a legitimate low. We're going to see some continuation as a result here. RSI putting in a drive of bullish divergence here. Likely we see that continue to play out into tomorrow's open, and a full-on breach into the bullish control zone through the bottom, printing new highs on an RSI. Nice low call. Exponential has reclaimed that positive slope. This is looking pretty decent as far as the run is concerned now. A change of behavior? Not quite yet. To me. Technically, yeah, we're putting in new highs in conjunction with this high, but I'm looking at major highs for a change of behavior, and this high right here is what I'm looking at. And we actually saw a nice area of resistance upon a test of that high. Right here, that high was printed on 426.21. We saw yesterday's candle go all the way up to that region, and look, sell off. Whoop, a little bit of a rejection from that region. So while I do think this is powerful, this is a specific level that I need to see taken out. I need to see new structural highs being printed on this before I'm convinced that this might be turning around long term. But for now, it does look potential. The possibility is most definitely there. But again, 85 spot 45 is the most important region that I'm looking at for continuation drives to the upside. Seeing new highs being printed, higher highs, higher lows. Bullish structure, so on and so forth. So for AMD, that's how I'm looking at it. Now, if we see a pullback, I need more touch. Let's go with that. Yeah, that's a nice little consolidation zone right there. If we see a pullback all the way to this region here, that would not be out of the question, in my opinion. A pullback to 81 spot 80 would not be out of the question. Maybe see a higher low print. The way the momentum oscillators are printing out right now, I'm not convinced that we're going to see too much of a pullback. Maybe you pull back and test the white 200 simple as support before taking off. But again, that 85 spot 45 region is what I'm really focused on. I want to see a new structural high. This high over here is not fucking structural to me. This is just a little bit of a pity bounce, imprinting a high before continuing more to the downside. But this high right here is more structural, and I would be more comfortable seeing continuation or calling continuation as a result of taking this region out. And until that point, we wait. That's where I'm going to leave AMD. What's next? GME. Fucking GameStop. GameStop. Oh my god. Oh, I've actually done quite a bit of analysis on my own on this one. This is not relevant anymore. What am I doing with my whole life? So here's the thing, guys. GameStop was saved. Man, GameStop was fucking saved. Even my mentor thinks this is going to come all the way back down to true value, blah, 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 blah. But as of right now, I am bullish on GameStop. Why? We get higher highs, boy. We get higher highs and higher lows, boy. We're seeing a very good reaction of the stochastics. We could be looking at a potential cool down period for the stochastics here. Potentially, we could see that's a horizontal. What am I doing with my life? Potentially, we could see a little bit of a 2-point long-term structure in formation. Now, again, this isn't valid until I see the reaction of the stochastics here, and in the coming days, maybe the next couple of weeks here. So I'll just leave this kind of like to the side, just as a reminder to myself, like, hey, if we start seeing this curl up, as long as we're above this stochastics low here, this could provide very useful as far as setting a trend to the upside. As far as price action is concerned, we do have a top here, and we do have a nice pullback after that bearish divergence call was made. Exponential is negative, it's not too great from my perspective, but we are seeing that. Look at that, that's weird. We're seeing a little bit of ride on that neutral zone here with a little bit of upside, and I'm looking for, at a minimum, the red 10 simple here to be calling any potential newer highs. What the fuck am I doing? I am failing so miserably. A close back above we'll say 305. 305, 306 spot 50 is kind of the condition that I'm looking for new highs. But as far as attempting to touch this resistance here, I need to see closures back above. First and foremost, the yellow 21. I need to see the yellow 21 stop acting as resistance, and a closure above the red 10 simple would give me confidence that we might be seeing a little bit of a higher low structure in formation for this asset. As of now, though, the pullback below the yellow 21 simple, failing to maintain above the yellow 21 simple, seeing a lot of resistance alongside that yellow 21 simple, gives me the bias that we might see more of a pullback towards the green 55. Maybe this support level here, right around 195. Perfectly low. Maybe I'm always looking for touch points. Maybe that works a little bit better. It's a little closer to the green 55. Yeah, right around 196, maybe 195 is kind of where my target lies right now. But we do have a little bit of this. Consolidation, rangy shit going on right now. It could continue playing out that way, but again, I'm looking at these two levels to break to the upside. 237 spot 5, anything above there on a daily candle closure basis, I'm going to be looking for the red 10 and maybe a little higher. Any closure below 214 spot 50 or 213 spot 80, something like that, I'm going to be looking for more of a pullback towards the green 55. Now again, all in all, even with a pullback to the green 55 or even to the cyan 89, oh, wait a minute. We got two printed lows right here. I did not notice that until now. So maybe that adds a little bit of spice to the analysis here. We could be printing new lows. But again, I don't look at these as structural lows. You know what I'm saying? I just see pullback bounce, and then the low prints as a result. Nothing too structural, so I still have to remain a little bit bullishly biased on this asset. Even though we took out these two lows, I'm not looking at them as major structural lows. Actually, the low that I'm looking at as a structural low is this low right here, printed on the 11th of May. And again, a pullback to the cyan 89, we'd still be above this region here, and I would still be bullish on this asset so long as we're above that region. What is that, 145, 140, maybe 141? So yeah, nothing too crazy right now. Again, that's a lot of hindsight trading. I don't like to hindsight trade too much, but I do like to map out possibilities for future price action. And a pullback all the way down to the cyan 89 is a possibility. That is not out of the realm of equations here. And seeing tests of the current high wouldn't be out of the question either. And we are putting in structural highs in comparison to this one. Obviously, both of those highs are lower in comparison to this one here, but as a result, GameStop looks good. I think GameStop has potential here. GameStop isn't dead just yet. It's trading very well, very bullishly in my opinion. And until I see some major bearish signals, that's where I'm going to leave that one. Let's go to the last one, Tilray. Tilray. I'm actually excited. TLRY. Isn't this the one that just fucking exploded? No, it's not. Still ranging, man. Still, potentially, ranging. We actually got downside continuation, something that I was looking for on, I think, either yesterday's stream or the stream before. I'm not sure if I analyzed this one yesterday, but we got a closure below. Oh man, look, you got yourself a little bit of a spinning bottom here, and we see continuation as a result to the downside. Is this a level to be concerned with? Potentially. Potentially. Right around the purple 100. Any closer below this region here, 17 spot 15, I'm going to be looking for a pullback into this liquid zone, which is basically right aligned with that white 200 simple. That would not be out of the question. RSI still continuing, to travel to the downside. We do have a potential structure in formation, a little bit of a weird looking structure nonetheless, but this just paints the picture that the possibilities to the downside are even greater now with that line in formation here. RSI breaking through that exponential, forcing the exponential to a negative slope here. We actually didn't even test the exponential. We actually tested the neutral zone here and rejected it. So again, the picture is painted, in my opinion, for more downside on Tilray. Higher low. As long as we're above 14 spot 90, we can put a higher low anywhere above that region. That much is true. So, a pullback all the way to this region here, 15 spot 30, to see a potential higher low would not be out of the question. Yeah, and that's it. Unless we pop back up, maybe above this region here, 18 spot 65. I'm not going to be looking for continuation to the upside. This is actually just continuation to the downside, a little bit of distribution here. So, yeah, I'm looking a little bit more down on Tilray. Man, this is a short stream, you guys. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it short, guys. I want to get some studies knocked out. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you did enjoy the stream, please smack that like button. Please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe. It really, really, really helps the group. I want us to grow. Anybody that's part of the group, we're a group, and I want to see the group prosper, grow, learn, profit from the market. So the more I do videos on this, the better I get at my own technical analysis, and the better I get at trading. So getting more people in, especially people that have more experience with technical analysis and trading in the market than I do, getting people in here is very, very important, because that opens up multiple streams of trading discussions. For the sole purpose of profiting. Profit at the end of the day is what we're all playing for. We're playing for, extra money or major money or, life-changing money or, life sustainment via the stock market, cryptocurrency market. So getting as many members as we can in the group is the goal right now. Again, we're on that road to 1,000 members, and I'm doing everything I can right now. I'm annoying the shit out of people. Trust me. I'm annoying a lot of people, trying to get some traction. So if you guys know anybody, again, cats, dogs, fish, animals, people, couches, inanimate objects, anything with a freaking YouTube account, bring them in. Have them subscribe, have them tick the little bell. We'll bring them into the technical analysis group chat on Facebook. We'll bring people into Facebook, whatever it may be. Like and subscribe, guys. But that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and